I'm sure many of you can relate to the word anxiety, a wave of anxious thoughts and negativity that just floods your head. Does it ring a bell? Raise your hands if you know the feeling. Okay, now lower your hands, please. Thank you. My name is Lara, and I'm here today to talk about anxiety and how to cope with it. According to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, around 5.6 million kids in the US get affected by anxiety per year. So this is obviously a very relevant and important topic to talk about. So I hope to provide with some answers to the following 3 questions. What is anxiety? How can we understand it? And how can we try to cope with it? Let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is anxiety? Is it a feeling or disorder? Well, the dictionary says, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. However, anxiety can come in all sorts of packages, whether it's big ones or small ones. But what's important to know is that anxiety, stress, and even sometimes the fear it can create is a normal feeling, and everyone experiences it at some point in their lives. Anxiety can show up in many ways, whether it's physical or mental. Physical symptoms are when you have a fast heartbeat or experience shaking. On the other hand, mental symptoms are more related to our emotions. This is when we get worried or scared. This can also include the inability to relax or put our mind at ease, even if we're in a familiar and safe environment. How much you can learn or concentrate. This can of course impact a child's performance as they're less focused and find it harder to concentrate at school. Furthermore, anxiety can also affect the way you think straight and make the right decisions. Consider this. Imagine yourself scrolling on your emails on your device and you stumble across an email that said that you've been selected to a football team, or a role in the school production, for example. But this has been your dream ever since you were a kid. What would you feel? Raise your hands if you think you'd feel nervous. Now raise your hands if you think you'd feel excited. One thing that many of us might feel, however, is anxiety. Do any of those words sound familiar to you guys? Worry, nervousness, unease, uncertainty? Well, they all contribute to the umbrella term anxiety. For some, the anxiety might even lead us to refuse the offer we have dreamed of ever since we were a kid, just because of that wave of terror and insecurity it creates. For some, anxiety can ruin our dreams. I've known many kids, even my friends, who have refused offers such as the example I've given you, just because of the wave of terror and insecurity. Unfortunately, extreme anxiety can also lead to panic attacks if left unmanaged and untreated. But there are ways to combat anxiety and preventing it from taking over your life. There are many ways of dealing with anxiety, and I'm going to tell you about some. The most common way of dealing with anxiety is mindfulness. Mindfulness is a technique of calming yourself down and being aware of your surroundings. There are many techniques of mindfulness, but the easiest one for anxiety involves focusing on your breath, focusing on your awareness, accepting yourself for who you are, and letting go of things you can't control. The second way of dealing with anxiety that I'm going to tell you about is talking about it. Many people suffering with anxiety may not be the talkative ones, but it's always best to tell someone what you're feeling because you never know, but they might have some advice on helping you. Bottling up everything inside of you isn't the situation you want to be in when you're suffering with anxiety. The last way of dealing with anxiety that I'm going to tell you about is one that many of you might not know about: the tapping method. I have personally used this method and I have found it super helpful, so I would love to share this with you guys. You might think that just tapping away isn't going to help anyone, but the tapping method is an amazing tool that many people believe that can help people with anxiety. Researchers have found that by tapping in certain places on your body, which when stimulated, help keep focus. These certain places are the forehead, side of the eye, under the nose, on your chin, under collarbone, and outer palm. By tapping these places, it helps you access your body's energy and send signals to the part of the brain which controls stress and concentration, lessening the stress as the energy flows to your mind. Now, researchers have found that by tapping these certain places and thinking positively, stress can be reduced by 41%. Now, you guys can start tapping. For those who get stressed in many situations, this is a perfect method for you guys to help keep calm. I would probably be tapping about how grateful I am on being on this red carpet and talking to you guys. You can tap about a test coming up, your job, life, anything, but just think positively. That's the main goal. You guys can try this at home and let me know how it went. Now, thank you so much for having your time. And remember, it is okay to feel anxious. And it is even more okay to seek help in others and find more ways of overcoming your anxiety. Be brave, learn from your experiences, and keep moving forward. And honestly, I was so scared and worried about this speech if I started or I forgot something. But talking to you guys and interacting with you guys really brightened up my mood. So let's give a round of applause to the audience. Thank you.